Okay, so I'll see you later.
Hey, StreamYard has lost access to your Facebook account. How come? Shucks. Do you add me back as admin?
Yep, I added you as admin already. You try?
Oh shit.
Wait, are you able to post? Wait,
Oh no. Can you grant me admin again? It's unable.
Yep, I already granted you.
Facebook denied access to your page.
Oh, yeah. But you try. I thought I granted you. Yeah, right now you're the admin.
Oh no. Okay, you know what? I think then, because we have people that are tuning in already,
Okay.
Next Level All Stars video. Okay, you share the Next Level All Stars onto your page now.
Okay,
Hey guys, hello. So sorry for the technical difficulties that we are having. Ben and I were doing a webinar for the first time, our Facebook Live for the first time. So do pardon us, okay, on the technical stuff. Ben, you've shared, right? Ready to go?
Yes, ready to go. Come.
Okay. SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants. What were you doing before this, Ben?
No, just having the dinner. Very simple. Yeah. What about yourself? What were you doing before dinner?
I was watching SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, really?
Some creative juices, going before we start this webinar. Okay, guys, if you can hear us clearly, right? New vocab for the day, edutainment. Yes, Clarence, very good. Okay, I know, right? Clarence, new vocab for the day. Okay, guys, can you type in where are you tuning in from? Is it Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Bulgaria? Today someone told me that he's tuning in from Bulgaria.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's exotic,
yeah. Zimbabwe. Okay. If you guys are ready to go, let's wait for the people to come in. If you guys are ready to go, can you type ready in the chat? Are you ready, Ben? Are you ready for the showdown? Are you gonna win? Am I gonna win?
Super excited, but wow. You're gonna win, right? Because your stock is Zoom.
Oh, someone's in from Thailand. Sawadika.
Wow, Thailand. Nice.
Where are you from, Ben? Ang Mo Kio.
Where are you from? Funny.
Jurong East? Geylang? Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, my cousin's tuning in. Hello, Keep Chua. Okay, all right. Let's go. Okay, guys, I think today is super exciting. Okay, before we go into the stock deep dive, we want to do market updates. Why market updates? Because people were panicking like crazy, right? Last week, some people lost sleep because it was a sea of red. So very quickly, let me just share my screen first. Okay. Here we go. Oops. Okay. Guys, tell me, is this a temporary market correction or the second market crash? If you think it is a correction, a small correction type correction, if you think that it's a crash type crash, what do you think, Ben?
Wow. Hey, actually, this is a very tricky question. But actually, honestly, we can't really predict, right? But usually based on historic, September, October can be a slightly, weaker months, and then for now it might be also a bit shaky because leading up to the election. So some of you we might just want to be a bit cautious, or you just want to just have a wait and see kind of approach. Yeah, but that's for me. Yeah, just based on historic. Yes. What do you think?
You're saying that you cannot really predict the market lah. But are you generally more bearish? Are you generally more bullish or what?
Oh, I mean, of course, internally, secretly hoping for another market crash. But of course, in the long run, definitely, I'm always bullish, right? I mean, for the US stock market, we have seen over the years, it's always, yes, there can be a dip, but it's always generally on an uptrend. Yeah.
Wow, John, crash after 18 September when my sell puts expire. Okay. Crash after voting. Wow, this one can predict the market. Who is this? Crash after voting, Cal. Okay, guys, let me show you some indicators.
After voting, I don't know.
Stay through with us till the end, okay? Because it's going to be super exciting. We're going to be dropping a lot of gems. So let's go. No time to waste. Okay, let me show you some stuff. Look, sea of red. If you guys don't know what's happening, because I know that there are also new investors that are joining us, right? Look at the sea of red. And this is what I posted on my personal Facebook group, because my Facebook page, because people were getting fidgety, right? They're getting worried, and then they're asking, Felicia, what are you doing? Is it going to crash further? But really, the answer is, during this time of all the rate days, it's where your conviction is being tested, right? Ben, you agree?
Yeah.
Right?
It's definitely, right, guys? So even if it's rate, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it's during this
Maybe it might be a chance for us to go in.
Exactly. I mean, like, your conviction is being tested. Do you really believe in the stocks that you invested in? Are you speculating or are you investing, right? Then how did you feel during those 3 days? Were you like fidgety? Were you smiling and crying and trembling or guys, if you were trembling, can you type T? If you were smiling, can you type S? I thought it's super interesting. I see a lot of if you were smiling during those rate days, can you type S? And if you were trembling during those days, can you type T? What were you doing, Ben?
Wow, actually those days, I think I was just kind of like relaxing, doing my usual sizing, things like that. But really, I wasn't. In fact, I wasn't doing a lot. I wasn't like panicking or fidgeting too much. In my portfolio. Yeah.
Very good. Wow. Hey, you're the lepak investor, right? Put in money and sleep.
Huh?
Right.
Yeah, but I think more importantly,
you're the lepak investor.
Yeah, lepak. Yeah, just buy and hold. Of course, if there's an opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah, put in money and sleep. Okay, so guys, let me see. What are you all saying? Hey, sorry, it's a bit like frozen. Okay, I see some S. Santi, red. Hey, this is so funny. Santi, you're so funny. Red. My face turned red too. Your face turned red because what? Face turned red because? Wow, Edwin, I smiling cause haven't buy in yet. Wow, patience. Good things come to those who wait. Okay. Okay, so I think just really be very careful. And of course, if it's rate days, there will be opportunities. But then again, it goes back to what Ben is saying, right? Put your money, don't need to follow the market every single day, right? Now, let me just show you some indicators, okay? We can see it, right? In retail and food services, which is the most basic of spends, the growth has been declining. In fact, in July, which is the latest data that we have now, it is flat growth, okay? Which is not a super good sign. In terms of the consumer index, now what is consumer confidence index? Consumer confidence index tells us how confident consumers like you and I are of the economy and how willing we are to spend, which then generates the economy, right? It generates movement in the economy where cash can flow through businesses. So if the confidence of consumers are low, they are not going to spend and businesses will not have money, okay? So you can see over here, consumer confidence index has been on a 6-year low. In fact, they were actually forecasting it to be at 93, which is here. But it turned out to be much lower, okay, at 85. Okay? At this point, following. Hey, so Ben, how about you? Are you spending more? Are you spending less? What do you think about this consumer confidence index, like being at a 6-year low? Are you surprised?
Generally, just looking across the market, I think it's not surprising because, okay, even, just for those of you who know me, actually, I'm in the HR field. And of course, during this period, you can tell that companies, actually a lot of companies are not doing too well. And you can imagine retrenchment and things like that, which also probably affect, consumer spending, right? And people just want to be a bit prudent, saving money on the sites and things like that, right? But so I think that explains a lot. Yeah. From there, yeah. It gels with what your chart is saying, in terms of confidence.
Stonehaven says your nails are red. Yes, the market was as red as these nails, right?
Wow. Was that on intention?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, exactly. I can predict the market with this rate. I'm kidding. Okay, so see, right? What's happening also is that, remember initially there was this like $600 allowance that was given to people who didn't have jobs, right, in the US? But then later it stopped. That stimulus ended. And then now what's happening is a temporary stimulus, a temporary allowance of $300 a week, but that is also ending, okay? And that is why people are more and more bearish, more and more cautious. Look at this, personal spending. Personal spending is also declining. Okay, you can see over here, personal spending is declining. Why declining, right? Because of the resurgence of coronavirus. The places that reopened are now shutting down again. So people cannot really spend, and businesses are also not seeing the kind of results. The kind of earnings that they want to see through this reopening, especially in the retail, in the more B2C sectors. Okay. Slight growth in personal income. Okay, this one we can skip. Now look at this unemployment rate. Okay, I think this is interesting in a sense that unemployment rate has fallen to below 10%, which was the all-time highs, right? 10% is the global financial crisis levels in 2008 to 2010, and we can see once again, okay, this year actually it reached like 15%, but last month it fell to 10%, and then now it's 8.4%. So this is some good signs. Having said that, don't be too happy, okay? Because look at this. Temporary unemployment, unemployed Americans decreased by 3 million. So it's a good thing. But the permanently jobless workers increased by 500,000, okay? So and what is driving this re-employment, right, is actually the government. So the US government, they're hiring people to do census, to collect census data, which is like unemployment data, how many shops are closed, how many shops are open, little things like that, manufacturing. So they're hiring people temporarily into the government, and this is what's driving this unemployment down. But this is only temporary. And if I were to show you some of this data, okay, I'm just going to go through very quickly because we don't have time. Basically, okay, the re-employment, the recovery of jobs in the market is slowing down. The jobs that are easily recovered have already been recovered. At this point in time, whatever jobs that are not recovered, it's very hard to recover. You see in the leisure, healthcare, retailing, and all that, okay? The job recovery rate is slowing by a lot. And that is something that we have to take note of. In fact, today I was talking to my friend working in Rolls-Royce. Okay, he was telling me Rolls-Royce going through another second cut, another layoff. Okay, many of the corporates, Accenture, Microsoft, Rolls-Royce, they are going through layoffs. Okay, some companies are already going through the second and third round of layoffs. And that is why it is we just need to be more careful. Now, very quickly, COVID and FDA. Ben, do you know what's the latest update?
Wow. For this one.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
I think generally
How, what?
Sorry, yeah, what are you saying?
Oh no, I'm saying you're a true blue value investor, because a true blue value investor really doesn't really care about like market news, right? In a sense. Like you just know your watch list, and then you know your entry price, you know the fundamentals, and then basically you're not so disturbed by the market news. Is that right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is good, right? Which is good, because then you don't need to be like tossed and turned in the winds and the waves and all the different news that come and then get confused. Okay, many of the new investors super confused, very anxious, panicky, because like every single day different market news swing them in different directions. It's very funny, Edmund. 10 red nails means 10 days consecutive red. I think some people want to hantam you. Yeah. Do you know that my toenails are also red? So that makes it think. 20 days are red day. Then you like it, right?
would be great.
That'd be great, right? 20 days
Yeah,
of rate days.
I would love for more rate days.
Spending on learning how to invest these days, Edwin. Very good. You should. It's the right thing to do. Okay. Okay. So anyway, just a very quick update on what's happening with this whole COVID and FDA. Okay. And I'm super happy because guess who is leading the elections? Guess who is leading the elections? Biden. Okay, Biden is 3 days gone. Santi say 3 days gone, 7 more days. Plus my toenails is 17 more days. Okay. Okay, Biden is leading the elections. Okay, news. Donald Trump. Okay, Donald Trump. What's happening? Donald Trump basically he's coercing the FDA to quickly release the vaccine, and that's not going to happen. Okay, initially they're like, oh yes, FDA now we are going to release the vaccine before stringent safety testing. Rubbish. Cannot. Okay. This is what Joe Biden says. One of the problems with the way Donald Trump is playing with politics, he has said so many things that are untrue, that aren't true. He says that we are worried that if we do have really good vaccine, people are going to be reluctant to take it. Okay, so be very cautious of what you guys are hearing. I know there's a lot of news that's coming out, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and a lot of all the different, Moderna and stuff like that. People who are especially the CEOs of companies that are well acquainted with Donald Trump, right? There's a lot of news coming out, and then their share prices are going up. Oh, we might be testing this. Oh, we might be rolling out this, but might. It's just increasing all the speculation and all these different things in the market. Okay, just playing with the retail investors lah, right? Now, okay, never mind. Skip this. Let me just show you what's happening. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Before that, can you tell me, do you think that there is a lot of speculation that is going on in the market right now? Do you think there's a lot of speculation that's going on? If you think there is a lot of speculation, type yes. If you think there's not a lot of speculation, type no. Then what are your thoughts at this point?
Definitely, I think there's lots of retail investors speculation. That's why the market is still disconnected, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's from my end. Yeah.
No, you're exactly right. Okay, Chu says yes, right? Guys, do you think there's a lot of speculation or not? Right, let me show you something, okay? It's really, really crazy. Look at this, Okay, look at this. This is the historical past 20 years, okay? Of all the buy calls, buy puts, whatever on the SPY. Okay, all these are small traders that are trading in and out of the market. Do you see that this year is spiked up all the way? And this is what's driving the market, all these speculations. Okay, it is at historical highs once again. And these small little traders, right, coming in and out of the market is what's driving the market, all these volumes. Yeah, they Ding Kiet, right? Robin Hood, exactly. Okay, and then let me show you something. Last week's correction is down to the support line, but really it is still at very overbought levels. This is the standard deviation from the 200-week MA. Okay, that means the 200-week moving average. There is always an average, right? It's the average. And what is the standard deviation? Meaning like how much has it deviated from the average? Look at this, it's at all-time highs once again. Do you see that each time 2007, all-time high, boom, it crashed. 2013, all-time high, boom, corrected. Okay, you see 2020 earlier this year, right? All-time high, crash again. And now we are here again, we're hitting at all-time highs level. So just be very, very cautious, okay? Basically, different investors who are analyzing the market, right? Some of them are saying that last week's correction is really minimal. It is very negligible. It's barely noticeable. And it has done little to reverse the longer-term overbought conditions. They are saying that it takes days and weeks for the correction to work off the extremes. And I just want to show you lastly, okay? This. Important, guys. In the short run, the market is a voting machine. But in the long run, it is a weighing machine. Can everybody type in the chat, don't speculate, don't speculate, don't speculate. Everybody type, don't speculate.
Don't speculate.
Yeah. Hey Ben, I think this will resonate a lot with you, right? Benjamin Graham, value investing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this quote, right? This is especially during this time. There's so much speculation going on. You know, sometimes we keep seeing the highs getting new highs, and you know, for some of us, we might have the fear of missing out. But guys, you have to look. I mean, this quote shared by Felicia is so true. Okay, guys, right? Just focus on good stocks, and you won't go wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, rather than just chasing the hypes.
Type no speculate. Don't speculate. Type in the chat. Don't speculate. Okay. Ben, I've spoken so much about the market, right? So basically, from what I'm hearing from you, I mean, you didn't really care, right, about the correction. It sounds like it.
So basically, right, regardless, I mean, of the crash and all this, right, you just have to stick to your watch list or your game plan and know, and what price entry you're comfortable to go in, give yourself some safety margins, and then you just, continue to invest like periodically, of course, with opportunities here and there, right? Yeah, with the long-term horizon.
Yeah. And then asking, is it a bull run election thing? I think the net.
Yeah, I think the network.
Ben, what do you think that the network?
Okay.
But what do you think? Do you think the market's going to continue upwards, like up to the elections?
I think, okay, so far, I mean, looking at what the market is saying, right, generally also because this is also quite of October, it's also a weak month, right? It could be also possible sell-offs, and of course, you know, depending on the election results, you know, there could be some also, I think, minor corrections here and there as well. But of course, beyond that, I think that's where, you know, it will pick up. But these few months also, depending on those who have short-term trading, those who are the option traders, they have to just be a bit careful.
Yeah. Hey, am I lagging? Drew says that I'm lagging.
Yep, I think both of us are lagging. We're lagging.
Oh no. Okay, wait.
Yeah. But guys,
let me just close some of my
internet is a bit choppy today.
Yeah, man. What's happening? Yeah. Okay, guys, give us a few seconds, okay? Let me just try to let me close some apps on my desktop. Hopefully this works. Wait.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's good. They say now it's okay.
Okay, now okay. Hey, Stonehaven says speak faster. Oi.
Okay, come, let's go.
Okay.
I think everyone is excited, guys.
Yes. Ben is waiting to fight it off already. Okay, it's Crowd versus Zoom now, guys. Smash the love button, smash the like button. Okay, if you are excited to go. Okay, if you think that this is a hot stock pick and you are excited to go. I know there's some people PM me. Oh, finally you are covering Crowdstrike. I'm like, yeah. Ben's gonna do the job. Okay, so smash the love button, smash the like button, and also help us to share this video because we know that these two are very hot stocks, okay? But people are just going in and out of the market without knowing what they're doing. So can you please help to share this button before we go, okay? So that people can benefit from the analysis, okay? Okay, Ben, let's go. Let me stop share my screen.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you want to go with Zoom first or Crowdstrike?
Oh, you can cover Crowd first.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
And while Ben is sharing, while Ben is trying to share his screen, can y'all type in the chat if you are an investor of Crowd? Can you type Crowd? CRWD. If you are looking to enter Crowd, okay, can you type W? Waiting. Okay, waiting. Okay, I just want to see. And if you think that Crowd is nah, you type nah. Type. Wow. Okay, look at that. Wow, all the crowd coming in.
Oh, good. Yeah, okay. Okay, guys. But just bear with me, because right now as I'm sharing my screen with you guys, right, I can't really see like the audience. I can't see all of your faces. I can't see Felicia's face. So so do just stop me at any point in time. All right. Cool.
Hey, Ben,
yes.
Yes. Okay, go.
Okay, guys. So for today's sharing on Crowdstrike, right? I mean, Okay, bear with me. There's going to be got a lot of numbers because primarily because why I like to always do deep dive on, and when we look at stocks, right, it's always good to be justified with numbers. I know some of you might based on like slightly a bit more like qualitative, like, oh, you love the CEO and things like that. Yes, those are not wrong also, but generally speaking, I back more on numbers to justify things, right? Okay, so with that, right, two parts. First part we're actually going to look into the market and business model of Crowdstrike and why is Crowdstrike is it a good or bad business? What does it have a competitive edge over its competitors? Right, that's the first part. Second part, then we will actually dive into the numbers, right? Whether it's Crowdstrike is it making money and things like that. All right, okay, so let's go in, guys. Crowdstrike. Wow, this is actually a very solid stock. Year to date, 151%. Okay, returns. Okay, guys. So this is really one of those super growth stocks. Also, one of our watch lists that we share in our community. Okay, so before we even jump to Crowdstrike, guys, we have to understand the whole industry as a whole. And I've actually managed to search a lot of like market research data. As you can see over here, if I draw your attention, 2019 to 2026, guys, can you see this? The cybersecurity, this is the entire market, the amount of pie there is, 150 will be growing almost, Kage, in terms of almost 15% year on year, and it will be bound to grow up to about $400 billion, guys. Just looking at this, North America will own about almost 45% market share. If we actually zoom into US cybersecurity market, right, which actually Crowdstrike, they have quite a good amount of business. You can see over here from 2016 all the way to 2027. Okay, I think the number is hidden, but it's almost close to about $400 billion, right? And there was actually a survey done also by Crowdstrike, right? It was actually also surveying, IT companies and companies in general, and almost 72% of them actually mentioned that they will increase, the budget of endpoint security over the next 12 months. So, guys, those of you in your corporate, your IT team, and all of this, your chief, technology officer, they are, increasing the budget on, cybersecurity. Right, even during tough times when you are cutting down on marketing budget and things like that, but IT budget, generally speaking, is still increasing. All right, and I think and this is actually one of the interesting things that we get to see from how the market is shifting, right? From the very traditional on-premise, right? We start to see demand for actually more of cloud-based solution, more effective, more efficient, right, guys? So you can imagine, guys, back in the, let's say even a couple of years back, or even when I started out in my career, like almost 10 over years ago, like, IT would have to install,
already 10 over years.
yeah. Can you imagine, back then, when you join the company, right, and then IT will like, oh, I have installed, Norton antivirus on your laptop. Wow, those were the days. But today, moving forward, right, when we're using cloud, gone are the days that you need to like install, something on your laptop. Right.
So Norton antivirus is like passe lah, is it? It's for the old people.
Yeah, it's very old school. Yeah, back then I was like, very old school. Oh, you can imagine that. Yeah, but nowadays, a lot of us, I don't know how many of us are still, using Norton. Very few, right?
No, man. Do you know last time when we buy computers, remember Norton antivirus? They used to throw it in as a free gift. Right, and then people are like, wow, this antivirus, but now we have CrowdStrike.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Wait, sorry, okay.
By the way,
true.
Okay, continue. Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so in short, what organizations are really looking out for is efficacy, efficiency, and cloud, right? And all of this is actually being able to, where I think Crowdstrike can actually deliver, right, in terms of the entire state-of-the-art Falcon platform, which later on I'll go on to show how it tackles against like malware attacks, even like prevention, detection, response, what do you call that? And also generating threat intel, as well as having protecting of the cloud. And later on, I also will go to share why is all this so crucial that allowed Crowdstrike as a company, right, over the last, I would say, almost 2 to 3 years, since I think 2017 onwards, right, I think they have almost close to 80-90% growth year on year, and they have doubled their market share, guys. Imagine a company doubling their market share over the last 2-3 years. How impressive is that?
Impressive. Right. If you think it's impressive, type impressive. Hey, by the way, Ben, you're going to tell us how CrowdStrike operates and how they make money, correct?
Yes, correct.
Business model.
Yes, we'll be doing that as well. But I thought also
Yeah.
just to introduce, the platform. Some of us we're not familiar, right? And is that what is so unique and that gives a Crowdstrike also an added advantage is that earlier on I was saying the market they're demanding more cloud, primarily because even like after we realize right now a lot of us are working from home. You realize that it's not so much just about your laptop already. Nowadays, there's lots of Internet of Things. A lot of us we have our own devices, right? You have your own phone. You're using a laptop and things like that. And a lot of us we may not be even based in the office. As such, I think there's a huge demand actually for cloud solution, and that's where actually, the Falcon platform, which Crowdstrike is, they endorse, have a lot of there's a lot of intelligence over here, AI, right? Intel team all built into it. And later on, there's also machine learning, right? That's why it actually reads the thread, intel, the graphs, and then it actually sends back indicators. So you can imagine you have this, like I would say, a very lightweight architecture system. Imagine hosted on the cloud that's able to learn as it takes on new thread responses and things like and able to generate the kind of analytics, right? So this is actually very I'll put it it's a very similar solution for companies, and it's very lightweight, meaning to say that, you don't need to invest a lot of money to tap onto the whole Crowdstrike, the network and things like that, which I'm going to share over here. Right. Three main areas that you can see here, how the whole Falcon platform actually, service, the businesses, right? There's actually three main. One is actually endpoint security, and then there's also the security IT operations, and also the third one is actually on the threat intelligence, right? So, guys, I thought this is very useful because why? This is like in one slide itself, you can see the entire overarching, business spectrum of how the Falcon platform is, redefining our security in cloud.
I can see some people scratching their heads.
Scratching. Okay, guys, the reason is because I felt that it's good that we also dive in a little bit, because end of the day, Strike itself, right, is quite a technical, solution company as well. So it's good that we go in a bit detailed, but feel free to stop. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we just want to go in, right. Endpoint. Why is this so important, guys? So like I was sharing earlier on. Yeah. We're working on like workstations, servers, data centers, mobile, right? And this is also the one thing that kind of like defines Crowdstrike in the endpoint. In fact, I think they were awarded. I think right now they're the leading endpoint security provider, right? So this is very, very, crucial. And also in terms of IT operations, they work very seamless, moving away from on-premise. They are now moved up, so it's very lightweight for companies to adopt. You can just pick and go, and you can scale easily, whether you only have like 10 users in your company. So it's very good for small businesses all the way up to big organizations, right? And at the same time, as I was sharing, it comes with also the AI and machine learning, right, guys? So this is so powerful in terms of analyzing malware. Okay, I know the words is a bit small, but I just wanted to give you a very nice overview of what Crowdstrike can do. All right, guys.
Hey, if you all are still following, type following. If you are lost, type
yes.
Pretending to understand.
Yeah, but guys, I tell you something. When I was doing the research, right, it really opened up my eyes. I was so excited. Right? I saw this data. I thought it's good to capture all this to share with you, right? Because today we really want to deep dive. And so when you understand what the business is doing, the reason why I share with you the market share, the growth, is so that when the share price is dropping, at least you have the conviction, right, guys? You will know that whether or not Crowdstrike is a company for you to buy and hold. All right, guys? Cool? All good? So you can see over here, right now, what does it mean? Large and expanding total access market, right, guys? So this is where Crowdstrike is, and this is the kind of market size they're actually looking to grow in the next 1-2 years. The amount of 9% over here, right? Accessible market they can tap into. Okay, guys, this slide. Okay, this is actually I think one of the defining slides, really, guys. Before I saw this slide, I was thinking, hey, is Crowdstrike really that? Is it so superior? Is it good, guys? But if you look over here, follow me. From 2018, it was like the number 8, and guys, in just a short span of 2 years, it has doubled its market share, and right now it has overtaken Symantec. It's just holding the second spot, just below McAfee. Guys, wow, how impressive is that? Right now, this is actually in what, second place?
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I was just speaking with one of my friends. He was telling me that people, I mean, even the government, right? They are currently using Crowd.
Oh,
yeah,
wow,
and yeah. So like apparently the players that are dominating the markets, they are also using Crowd. So I don't know how credible this is, but I know there are people who are like cloud experts, right? Someone says David Look is a cloud expert. Who is David Look? Hey, David, you are here. You can share some insights to us, with us.
All right, yeah.
John, don't listen to this guy. Molly will recommend crowd 3 times. So I recommend.
Yeah. What did he say?
He said what?
Yeah.
John's like very funny person.
Yes.
Crowd 3 times, I think.
All right, yeah. So it's true. There are many different, over here, at least for the endpoint, right? And then if I move on, guys, you see over here, we just saw article, very latest dated July only, right? Crowdstrike was actually, based on the IDC Worldwide Endpoint Security Software, market share report, guys. It actually showed that Crowdstrike was actually the fastest growing endpoint security software provider, right? And it's actually, in fact, is redefining the market, right, guys? This is the part that really captured my eye, guys. It's not just being a second feeder or just playing catch up, but in fact, Crowdstrike is being a game changer. It's redefining the entire endpoint security market by going on cloud solution. Right, guys? Can you see over here? Over here, crowd, So I think this was something that really, stood out for me in terms of, defining your economic mode, you're having your competitive advantage. All right. So you can see here, guys, over here, Crowdstrike was also rated, I think, in terms of 4.95, and I think it was also given in terms of the year 2020, in terms of enterprise detection and response, it was also another wave leader, right? And clearly over here, compared to Symantec, right? Again, Crowdstrike is winning on top across many various features. All right, guys. So now done with the business model, guys, of how it, clearly we can see that Crowdstrike is actually a leader, right, in terms of endpoint security. But right now, I think with that in mind, at least we know, in terms of the branding, in terms of the market share is doing well. But right now, let's dive into the numbers and see whether or not, is it justifying, the super high price. All right, guys. So over here, can you take a look at what is the rapid growth of the, the annual recurring revenue? So basically, guys, right now in the cloud service, and also this is very common, right? You want to ensure that the revenue coming is not just one-off; it's recurring. So it's again on subscription model, right? And clearly we can see from Crowdstrike over here, Q2 20, right, is almost about $400 million already, and we can foresee that over the next, over the next few quarters, by next year it's going to jump almost 88%, right? Jumping from 400 to 680.
Yes, maybe at this point, right, I think it's important for people to understand, guys, you know why the hot stock pick these days are subscription model companies. Do you guys know why? Because, okay, if you know why, type it in the chat. If you know why, type it in the chat.
Yeah.
The reason why ARR, okay, is important, it's very important, is because when we talk about recurring revenues, when revenues increase, do you know that the cost of retaining these revenues, right, is only like that? Is very little as compared to the rise in revenues, okay? And annual recurring revenues increasing is a great sign of two things. Number one, that your customer base is growing, and number two, that your existing customer base is spending more with you, which I will talk more about later also in Zoom, because Zoom is going to win. Because Zoom is going to win.
That's good. No, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's also, I think these are two good stocks also. Yeah, but maybe Zoom.
Yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah. Okay, but okay, go for it.
All right, guys. So as we're sharing, go for it. Yeah. Annual revenue, right, guys? So we're saying, right, how do you define a good company? Make sure that it's, generating revenue, strong revenue. So guys, even if it may be, making loss, things like that, but as we shared before, for a super growth companies, as long as the growth is, very super high, it can justify that, right? So clearly we can see here from FY19 to FY20, 99%, guys, year-on-year growth. Okay, revenue, and even their quarter, growth as well in terms of the revenue, 89%. So guys, these are very, very healthy, very strong numbers in terms of their subscription. All right, and in terms of their customer base, guys, clearly I think as of even January 31st, this year, they are already into the top 50 companies of the Fortune 100, right? And even from over the last few quarters, you can tell that their year-on-year growth has been very, above 100%, right? Even in FY20, it's 116%, predicted by next year, first quarter of 2021, it's going to be 105%, right? So it's really amazing. I think they're now having over, 5,000 over plus subscription customers, enterprise customers, right?
Yeah, it says over here, right? 6,000, more than 6,000 customers.
Yep.
And you
Yes,
know what's
by
the powerful thing
FY21.
about growing? Yeah, the powerful thing about growing your customer base is that it's not only the recurring revenues that you get from them year on year, as in the flat recurring revenues, but it's also the potential to milk more out of them. Okay, you can upsell, you can cross sell, and that is the power of a subscription model subscription model company. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. And then we move on. Okay, guys, this is also another very good indicator. Usually when you look at this kind of like software as a service kind of company, one of those matrices, right, we look at is also in terms of like the customer retention or net retention rate. Some of you might be familiar. It's almost like a churn matrix, right? Just to see how much I'll say recurring revenue for the company over, let's say, it could be a month or over a year period, right? When you minus those customers which have left you, or maybe some customers they have upgraded, right? They have maybe bought more modules and things like that, right? Over, when you take the average, when you divide it over, as long as that percentage is above 100%, it means that it's good, right? And that also means that you're able to cover those customers that you have lost. Right. So generally over here, using 120% as the benchmark, right? I mean, it's like an average. Clearly, I think Crowdstrike in terms of their, retention rates over here has been quite healthy, right? Usually, I mean, if you look across the industry, right? If you are like getting like, usually I think about 95% and above, right, is already considered very good already. So in this case, for Crowdstrike, when they're like, in the right now, I think in 2020. It's above 120% average, right, per quarter. I think this is actually something quite impressive. All right, guys, over here. Okay, so at a glance, right, guys, we can look at this is actually the first cloud native, software as a service endpoint security system. We're sharing. This just capture a very quick snapshot, right, guys, that we cover. In terms of subscription revenue, 89%, which is very impressive, very strong double digits. And I think one thing just to note, I was just also I think hearing when they just recently also had the call. So I think when they shared the earnings, and then their CEO also was sharing about how their company is doing. And in fact, they're sharing that even by end of the year, or could be by next year, they might be already closing up their what do you call that? The net margins already. So they'll be actually, in fact, right now they're making a bit of loss, but I think by end of the year or by early next year, it should be closing very small gap already, and then could be turning almost profitable, right? And because of this, also due to the strong revenue growth, right? And in fact, I think they have also brought on, I think, one of those one of a big enterprise customer. So you can imagine, I think there was one airline company that also they managed to get as a customer, and you can imagine airline companies during this period, they're not making money. In fact, they're bleeding. But for airline company to actually come on board, it also shows the need for endpoint security is actually very crucial and very important. And companies continue to spend on that, are willing to spend on IT security, right? And the beauty about Crowdstrike, it allows the cloud solution. All right, guys. So all good over here so far.
Yeah. So John has a question. Should the downward sloping retention graph be a concern? Actually, that was what I was thinking also, right? I mean, just now, if you can just go back to that slide. Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, this tells us that the number of customers that are coming on board plus the amount that they're spending more with them, that growth is declining, right? That growth is declining. So what are your thoughts on this?
Wow, actually, that's also a good question. I would say that for now, that's why I think for now that's looking at this particular rate, considering in all things, this could be one thing to also note as we monitor across the other the other quarters. Yeah. So earlier on, as I was sharing, is that if once this rate, right, starts to fall, if it falls to like below like 95%, right, or even below 100, I think that's where we need to be start to be a bit careful. But of course, this having said that, right, this retention rate, right, is one of those matrices, but we need to compare other things in totality as well. Right. So I mean, you're right, John. You're right to also bring this up, that we need to also just pay a bit of attention just to on the forward quarters as well.
Ben,
Right.
I think Zoom's gonna win.
Sorry,
I'll show
what?
you numbers later. I
Okay,
say Zoom.
really? Okay. Zoom is going to win. Okay,
Zoom,
but
okay.
definitely,
Later. We talk
later,
about it. But
okay.
Zoom is actually at 130 to 140%, and they've been at that. They've been sustaining 130 to 140% for 9 quarters. Okay, for more than 2 years already.
Wow. Actually, okay. Good. We keep the best.
Yeah.
We keep the best for last.
Exactly. Okay, so Renee, what is the reasons upon earnings call stock plunge even though their company is doing well?
Wow. Doing well, is it? Wow, actually that's a very good question. Okay, there could be many reasons, right? But obviously, I mean, sometimes when we look at the stock price actually reflects what? The market sentiments moving forward, right? So even though the earnings could be good, but again, guys, it can be for many various reasons. It could be either panic selling, whatever reasons, people feel that moving forward, maybe the market won't be doing too well. So there could be various reasons. But again, guys, that's where I think the discerning investor, right, or the those who actually watch our next level all-star people will know better, right?
Wow. Got it right, because all of you are stars.
So guys, so I think that's where we differentiate ourselves. Okay, if we do our own homework, you develop your own conviction, I think that's where we won't be too much concerned with the stock plunging, right? Because there could be many reasons, right, during earnings call.
And Renee, I just want to say, right, I mean, we know that Mr. Market is a psychotic market, right? Sean always says that Mr. Market is a psychotic market. Sometimes, I mean, if you're a psychotic market, a psychotic parent, right, that your child scores 90 out of 100 or 95 out of 100, still not good enough. It's something like that, okay? Sometimes you can be beating earnings, market is not happy. Sometimes you can just look at what happened, right? Just the past earnings season, Microsoft beat earnings, but Microsoft fell. Disney Disney only delivered 80 cents or something. Was it 8 cents or 80 cents? I cannot remember, but basically very, very pathetic earnings, right? But the share price soared. Okay? So it's really, I mean, it's a psychotic market. That's why it's very, very difficult to do earnings play, and it's very, very hard to explain this kind of market movements. Of course, as Ben has said, right? I mean, the market does tell a bit about the sentiments. So sometimes, although you have goes for DDoC, right? DDoC beat earnings, their revenues went up, soared by like 67%, 70% year on year. It still fell, right? 15% it plunged. So sometimes it's just very hard, okay? Yeah, never do anything during earnings. Something very good. Something is our next level all-star, like I know, I see you always up here. Exactly. This is correct. Okay, expectations, yeah.
Oh, not bad, huh?
Yeah, let's go. Financial.
Okay. All right, guys. So I'm just down to my last slide. Looking at the last one, I think, is on the valuation, everything. Okay. So what's my thought against, with regards to Crowdstrike? Clearly, I just wanted to point out a few things. For some of you might be concerned with the negative ROE and net margin. So again, as I was sharing, right, for very growth stocks, strong growth stocks, right, these are some things we can actually, not look at, right? Because the company is making money, but in this case, in terms of the negative margins, it's all right. But one thing that I pay attention to is, the low debt to equity ratio is very good. And at the same time, I always ensure that the super growth stock have positive cash flow. So this is definitely one thing for me. There are some super growth stocks which has negative cash flow, and for me, that's a no for me. I'd rather walk away. I'd rather invest in a cash flow. It's should be healthy. All right, guys. So.
But what if the company? Wait, are they in profits now, Crowdstrike?
No, currently negative, right? So they're making revenue, yeah, but it's negative, right? But guys, it's quite common. Yeah, it's very common. Even like companies like Amazon, Tesla. I think for many years they when they first were growing, right, they also were negative. Yeah. All right. Okay, guys. So I know this is a famous, the very familiar table that you can see that is taken from Morningstar. And clearly, Crowdstrike as a company, there's not enough data point for the 5 years, right? But if you can see in terms of the P ratio, okay, I think it's also not stated, but I think, guys, but basically my thought over here is that if you look at like even the PEG ratio, guys, the PEG ratio is 71, I think 0.54, right? So again, these ratios may not be very useful and meaningful. Instead, I would rather look at either the price to sales or maybe like enterprise value to the revenue ratio instead. And guys, all you have to do is just compare that versus maybe like the 5-year past historic. And I think the last I checked earlier on, I think Crowdstrike was slightly overvalued, right? Even if you look at like the price to sales and things like that. So that could be also a reason why the stock price has kind of come down a bit, because I think prior to that, right, I think the sudden surge in the price have kind of like buffered in all the growth. So suddenly, right now it could be people also taking some profit taking and things like that. But having said that, yes.
Ben, so you were talking about, it's a bit overvalued at this point. I'm just very curious for you personally, right? When you look at, let's say, SaaS stocks and stuff like that, especially for companies that are not yet generating profits, like how do you say that one is undervalued or overvalued? Like how do you say this stock is undervalued or overvalued?
Okay. So actually in how we look at it, there are many different matrices, right? So for a company that is not making money, example like for Crowdstrike, right? One way we can look at it is you actually have to go and find out, right, either the price to sales ratio, or the other one, another matrix that you can use is the enterprise value to the revenue ratio, right? So compare the current one versus, let's say, the historic 5 years, or is it the median, to give yourself some benchmarking, right? Whether is it over and above, or is it below, right? This will give you some indications, right, to whether is it overvalued by growth standards. So guys, you realize that this valuation ratios that I've just mentioned is very different from the usual Warren Buffett price to earnings. So again, guys, for growth stocks, we cannot use the traditional Warren Buffett ratio.
Okay. David says buy. Wow, David. So confident. David.
Buy. Okay, for me, actually, I will wait first. Yeah, I'll wait and hang on, because September and October is shaky.
Okay. At this point in time, if you guys have learned something, can you type learn in the chat and type the share and share this video as I continue to Zoom. It's super exciting. To me, when I look at the financials, I still think Zoom in terms of the financials wins, hands down.
Wow. Okay, very good.
Hands down.
Wow.
Okay, guys. No, not yet, Zoom. Okay, so if you have learned something, can you type learn? If you have learned something, type learned. And then share this video. Once you have shared, type shared, and then we can get on to Zoom. Okay, we can get on to Zoom. While they are typing Zoom, while they are sharing this video, Ben, can you tell us, right, why? I mean, just something that's interesting that popped up at me was really that slide that showed how Zoom really gained market share, right, over time. Like now it's second place. So I'm just wondering what has set it apart from its competitors. What has set it apart from its competitors that it's able to gain market share in such a short period of time? And you see it really like striking, right? It's like, yeah, Crowdstrike, like, woo. So what's happening?
And even when it's very interesting, because I was talking to some of my IT friends in the industry, and even with the IT team, and I think early on what we were sharing is that I think there was one article that was published by the IDC guys, IDC Worldwide, Endpoint Security Report, that said that Crowdstrike actually was a game changer and set itself apart from its usual competitors that was more on-premise solution. That means they either have to you have to install the software and things like that. But Crowdstrike actually offered a cloud solution, right? It was the first cloud endpoint software as a service. That's why it was very attractive, especially during such times, appealing to small businesses or even large corporations, where you can just scale up and down, and you only have to pay the subscription fee. You don't have to bear like the database and everything, right? And so I think that was the beauty about it, right? And cloud itself is also a very fast-growing industry, right? And so that's what I was sharing with these 2 points, right? Cloud, and at the same time having the whole Falcon platform, based on AI and machine learning, really set itself apart from its competitors.
Right. Okay, good. I see that David is in this room. David, if you want to share some insights, okay, you can always type over there. Guys, if you have shared this video, can you type shared? And then we can go on to Zoom and I will tell you why Zoom is zooming up, and away. And of course, Ben, thank you for sharing Crowd with us. You know, although Crowdstrike and Zoom is like, Crowd is like,
oh, really?
Okay. Guys, share this video and we can continue. Why do we want to share this video, right? Once again, very, very simple, okay? So many people, they are entering Crowd, they are entering Zoom, but they don't know what are the fundamentals. They don't know what's going on in these companies. And because it's just so widely talked about, okay, there's so much conversations going around it. People are just going in and out, in and out. And do you know what happened in the recent recent correction? Okay, in the recent correction, all the different investment chats, you know, and then there are also people PMing me, hey, what's happening? What's happening? Do you know that the people who were so bullish on Crowd were actually panicking and like, yeah, they were just like peeing in their pants, man. Like seriously. Okay, and because they don't know this fundamental, so it's very, very important. Okay, Santi, thanks for sharing. David, thanks for sharing. Nicholas, thanks for sharing. Okay, can we continue to share, and then we can move on to Zoom because Zoom is very promising. Let me share my screen.
Yes, I think let's go to Zoom without further ado.
Yes, okay.
I'm also excited
I know
because
you know, cause wait then ready to party and watch SpongeBob SquarePants after this.
Oh yeah.
I
Big stories.
Because Ben need to read SpongeBob SquarePants to his kid like before. Okay. Okay.
Well, guys,
Okay, let's go. Okay, so this is what happened to Zoom, right? Zoom, up and away. Before I start, guys, if you are looking at Zoom, if Zoom is in your watch list, right? Can you type ZM in the chat? If Zoom is in your watch list, can you type ZM?
Zoom is definitely in my watch list.
And Zoom is in your watch list. Huh? When are you going to enter?
Wow. But actually, I was looking at the valuation. It's actually much more overvalued. I mean, by growth standards. But hopefully, that's why, guys. That's why whenever there's a rate market is good, we want the market to crash.
Zoom is building data center in Singapore. Pow! Wow, awesome.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. Hey, how come? Okay. I see all the people waiting for Zoom to come down. Yeah, exactly. Waiting for Zoom to zoom down, right? But when is down enough? When is down enough? Down.
Wow.
When is down low enough? No. Okay, come. Let me just show you very quickly. Okay, guys, look at this. Once again, just very quickly. This is what happened. Okay, it's year-on-year revenues in the recent earnings, right? They reported 355% growth. Wow. Okay. Wow. 255%. It more than tripled now. It's like 3.5 times. And look at their cash flow. Okay, what is cash flow? Free cash flow at the end of the day. Oh, maybe before.
Sorry. Can you share your slide? Sorry.
Oh, I'm not sharing my slides, is it? Oh, I'm sorry.
Haven't yet.
Oh, I was just like talking to myself.
No. Show us the numbers.
Show me the numbers.
Wow.
Okay. Look at this. Okay.
Yeah.
It zoomed up. Revenue zoomed up. Now, this is revenue in terms of free cash flow. And do you know that the health of a company, really, free cash flow is one of the very good indicators because it tells you how much cash is left at the end of the day after operating the company, after paying for, just now David is saying, right? Like they're setting up data centers. Okay, so after your cash, like setting up data centers, setting up whatever. Okay, so at the end of the day, what is the cash that you have in your bank, right? Let me see if I got any cash over here. Nowadays I carry cards. What is your cash? Oh, I only got $5 in my wallet. This is my free cash flow very big. What is the cash? What is the cash in the bank? Can you guess what is the increase? What is the rise? Wow, Cal, you saw through it. Hey, am I lagging or what?
Is it slightly? Wait, huh?
Am I lagging? Okay, guys, can you please key in? This is the revenue growth, 355%. How many percent did their free cash flow grow by? How many percent did their free cash flow grow by? Guys, answer me. Okay, let me show you. 2000%. Ben, can you believe it? 2000%. What was
Wow.
the growth in Crowdstrike's free cash flow? Tell me.
I think it was 88 or 90% plus. Wow, this is 2000. Wow, this is crazy, man. Crazy, absolutely. Wow, amazing. Amazing.
What John says, phone still in growth stages. What is FFONG me? Am I the stock? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, some people guessing 500%. It's actually 2000% growth. Okay, 2000% growth, guys. It is crazy. If you think that this is insane or amazing, can you type amazing? Yeah, Nicholas is saying wow, right? Can you type amazing in the chat? Can you type amazing? 2000%. Crazy, man. 17 million to like 370 million. What are you gonna do with all the cash, yo? Okay, and let me.
Crazy.
Okay, and let me show you this. Okay. They are growing their international presence. You can see, right? This is insane. Look at the revenues last year and this year. Okay, they grew in the America by 300%. Out of America, they grew by more than 600%. Out of America, so they're growing in their international business. Okay, this one I don't really want to go through this. This is just how they have grown over the years and the kind of products. Do you know, right? Ben, and guys, if you have used at least one Zoom product, right, in the past 1 month, can you type ZM, Zoom? If you have used at least one Zoom product in the past month, can you type ZM? ZM.
Wow.
Ben, have you used Zoom in the past 1 month?
Wow, absolutely. I mean, Felicia must share. Not only just Zoom with our colleagues and friends, but I tell you, in the companies, we are even using Zoom to run our trainings, in learning and development. So it's really all embracing Zoom, guys.
Exactly.
Really,
exactly,
wow, impressive.
Exactly. Okay. Do you know that until I did my research, I didn't know that Zoom had so many products. Ben, do you know what products? Don't look at my slides. Tell me, Ben, what product does Zoom have?
Okay, actually, honestly, I thought that just the web.
You think it's only the web, right?
Online video conferencing, that's all. For me, but I didn't know there's so many.
Okay, look at this. You can set up meetings, chats, you can set up phone, you can set up video webinar, you can set up Zoom room, conference room connector. Okay, scheduling display, digital signages. But on top of that, do you know that they are actually they are also running like a marketplace? Okay, they have custom apps that are being built for partners. I didn't even know that. This we know, right? Desktop, laptops, tablet, mobile, telephone, conference room, Okay, so they have a whole suite of things. And actually what sets them apart, okay, is the interoperability. Because they can operate across a range of devices, a range of operating systems, a range of third-party applications. Okay, you can run it on Windows, on Macs, on iOS, Android, Linux, whatever. And they have also integrated it with all the different project management tools like Atlassian, Dropbox, right, which is storage, Google, LinkedIn, which are like headhunting platforms, Microsoft, Salesforce is a CRM platform, Slack, it's a project management agile tool, and a whole variety of other productivity, collaboration, data management, and security vendors. Okay, so I never understood why Zoom was so powerful until I read this and until I understood this. Okay, so guys, oh man, and of course, right, this is how Zoom makes money. They have different tiers of subscriptions. Okay, they have different tiers of subscription. $15, $20, $20. Okay. And their customer base, okay, include all the big brands lah. I mean, Activision, Blizzard, right? We know the gaming company. Their recent new customer. And look at this. You think 2,000% is large? Look at the customer base. It grew by 4,000%. Crazy, 4,000%. Then just how we saw, right? For Crowdstrike, I think the user base grew by how much? 100%, right? Just now, remember?
Wow.
100%. Guys,
Correct. Well, this is like what, 4,000?
this is 4,000.
Wow. Impressive. 4,000.
4,000.
Amazing.
4,000.
Wow.
4,000. 4,000.
Really zooming away.
Zoom won already. Hey, guys, at this point, right, if you think that it is incredible, can you please type incredible? Incredible. Okay, so their customer base, right, on a daily, so they have 200 million daily active users. That is 2/3 of the whole of America. Okay, Singapore, people who are tuning in from Singapore has 6 million people, right? So 6, 12, 18, that's like 30 times of Singapore, more than 30 times. Okay? And then, yeah, they have customers over 180 countries. And their customers are spending more with them. Okay, their customers are spending more with them. This one, basically, okay, don't need to read the whole chunk over here. Let me simplify it for you. What the CFO is trying to say, right, is that the customers are spending very little. Each of the customers are spending very little with them. What does this mean? A lot of opportunity for them to further increase their revenue, even if their customer base at this point do not grow. They have more than enough customers to be milking and getting more money out of them. Okay? Is there more room? Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Let me tell you more. Okay, Charlie. This is Charlie. Okay? And look at this. They have customer satisfaction score of 90%. Their customers are super happy with them. Okay? Customers are super happy with them, which is very important. Amongst their Fortune 100, which is the top 100 companies, right, there's a 98% usage, meaning what? People are very sticky to them, okay? When customers are very sticky to you, it means that you have a high chance of further upselling and cross-selling into your other products, especially when you become part of their routine, part of their habit. Yeah? They are the market leaders, it's like 35%, 36%, okay? Crowdstrike is the second player, but Zoom is the market leader, okay? But of course, I mean, like, you can look at it both ways. If you're a second player, it means that you can further dominate the market. Okay, there's opportunity for you to further eat into the market. But Zoom is a market leader. Okay, Facebook user says, but do you think that the numbers will reduce or stay the same? Let me show you some numbers later. Okay, Totomate. I will show you something later. Okay, look at this. What's important in a subscription model? Customer acquisition. Guys, okay, let me share with you, okay? And this is where crowd comes in also. In a subscription model, customer acquisition cost is very important because you first need to build your base of customers, then you start to milk your customers. Month on month, year on year, you start to milk them. Okay, so this customer acquisition cost tells you your sales efficiency. What is sales efficiency? Sales efficiency tells you for $1 that you spend in marketing and in getting that new customer, how much money comes out of that one customer. Do you know that Zoom has the best in class out of the 20 hot players in the SaaS industry? Zoom has the best in class, lowest customer acquisition cost. Did you know that? Did you know that, Ben?
Wow, no, that one didn't.
Do you know that Zoom has the lowest? They only take 9 months to recover all their sales and marketing costs. They break even in 9 months. But do you know that the average is 30 months? The average is 30 months. They break even in less than 1/3 the time. And look at this, Crowd is 17 months. Crowd takes double the time to recover their customer acquisition cost. Do you see that? Okay? Zoom win now. Someone say Zoom win now. Yeah. Okay? Zoom. Now, next. Look at this, revenue growth. Zoom also beats everyone. Look at this. Okay, 100% growth all the time. I mean, like, consistent 100% growth. Same. Okay, now this. Net dollar retention. Okay, this is what Ben also talked about just now. And this is, just now we saw that the net dollar retention, remember, John was asking, is declining for CrowdStrike. Correct? Crowd was 120 something, right? 120 something. Yep. But for Zoom has been consistently at 130 to 140. Now, what does this net dollar retention tell us? It tells us two things. Okay, it takes into consideration two things, guys, and listen clearly because this is one of the key metric in a subscription model company. It takes into consideration the positive effects of upsell, negative effects of downgrades, the customers and the customers who have left. Get it? So it takes into consideration the positive effects from the upsell, meaning the existing customer base is spending more. Negative effects from downgrades, meaning that they spend less, and the customers who leave, meaning that your size of the customer base. And net, okay, taking into consideration all this, what does a more than 100% net dollar retention tell us? It tells us two things. Customer base is growing, and that your existing customer base is spending more with you. Okay, understand? And this is extremely important because you want to grow your customer base, but you also want to get them to spend more with you. And as they spend more with you, each cohort that comes in, they spend more with you, they add to your revenue, they add to your pie in the revenue, and then they add. But the cost of serving them is negligible. Okay, the cost of serving them is negligible. Okay, now at this point, folks, if you are learning, can you smash the love button? If you are learning, can you smash the love button or the like button and continue to share this video? Yeah, you're still expert sharing their thoughts. Thanks so much. You are very welcome.
Thank you.
Zoom away, Liao. You need to zoom away now. Yeah.
Declare already Zoom.
Zoom know that. I thought Zoom is really so powerful. Guys, help to smash the love button, smash the like button, and share this video. If you're learning something, okay, really, because I really want people to learn this. Like, it is so important, okay? I don't want people to be investing and then not knowing what's behind the company, Ken? Once again, if you have shared it, type shared, okay? Hey, at this point, Ben, what are your thoughts? I've spoken so much, I haven't heard from you.
Oh, you mean in terms of the numbers? I think clearly over here. So with Zoom, I think we can really see a lot of potential. I think a lot of the matrices are also, are a lot higher, right? So the only thing now is, of course, I think some questions whether or not will this potentials continue for Zoom. And I think in that space, right, as a Zoom user and even as an enterprise, when you see in corporates, a lot of them, they're embarking on Zoom, not only just for meetings, but guys, a lot of companies are using Zoom because right now you're working from home, right? So you can actually use like the meeting rooms, the breakout rooms to conduct like your trainings, corporate training. So again, guys, with all of this jumping on companies moving on to Zoom, right? There's this trend is going to continue to grow, right? The only thing right now we just probably have to take note is just whether or not the valuation.
I just bought you over.
Sorry, what?
Ben dumped Zoom already. Ben dumped Zoom. Ben, you have Ben, you have dumped Crowdstrike. You have dumped Crowdstrike, correct?
No, but guys, as we are sharing, again in your watch list, you might have a range of many good stocks. But again, it's always looking at the valuation. Which one do you feel more that has a better safety margin to allow you to go in, right? So we'll check out the valuation for Zoom.
Yeah, check it out later, okay? Later. Hey, so funny. Let me show you something, okay?
Oh, wait.
I learned how to share the stage with FF. Yeah. Sorry, Ben, go ahead.
Oh no, I think someone was saying that in your graph it shows that Crowdstrike actually is the second has a higher net dollar retention.
Yeah, you know what I realized, right? That because it's your what quarter is your data?
Oh, actually, I think that could be the one of the check it. I think it was either the latest or 2020, but we have to see. Yeah.
So it's the period. It's the period.
Yeah.
It's the period. Okay, it's the period. Yeah. But then again, this is one metric. You have seen the other metrics: 355% growth in revenue, 2,000% growth in free cash flow, 4,000% growth in customer base. Like, oh my god! Okay. Now is Zoom the next Tesla, right? Okay, let me tell you what's going to drive the industry, lah. Okay, just look at this. This is what big companies are spending on. Areas in which software buyers are increasingly spending during the coronavirus crisis. Do you know that web conferencing software, collaboration tool, remote desktop tools, these three, which is topping the charts, right? Is where Zoom is playing. Okay? It's where Zoom is playing. So they are in the industry that people are spending, most commonly spending nowadays in this crisis. And we see that there is a 34% CAGR forecasted. Now, something that I want to ask is very interesting, guys. Do you want to guess, right? So there was a survey, and Ben, you can guess also. There was a survey that was being done amongst the Fortune 500 CEOs. And they're asking how many percent many percent? How many percent of the Fortune 500 CEO responded that they will never, the companies, these Fortune 500 companies will never travel as much again after the pandemic, meaning that the new normal is that they are going to do more of this kind of remote conferencing and video conferencing. Can you guess how many percent says that?
Wow, I can imagine almost could be 70 to 80, I'm actually believing it's in the higher range, 78%. Yeah.
Guys, can you guess or not? Guess. How many percent of these Fortune 500 CEO companies say they are never going to travel as much as before the pandemic, meaning that this kind of video conferencing is going to be very important? Can you guess? Type a figure, type a percentage. Type a percentage. Type a percentage.
But at least we know in Singapore, traveling probably will be out, I think, till end of the year.
Yeah. Hey, 100% really? Anyhow, boom.
Yeah. What's the number from your survey?
50%, more than 50%. Do you know that is a very large number?
Wow.
More than 50% is a very large number, okay? More than 50% is a very big number. Which means, guys, can you imagine how much more this is going to be a new norm and how much more Zoom is going to be used? And look at this, estimated time for employees to return to their usual workplace, work from home indefinitely. It's like 1/4 of people work from home indefinitely. And then another 40% say by June next year. It's just, you can see, right? This is really going to drive the adoption of Zoom. And do you know, I was just talking to my colleagues, right, yesterday. I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, do you realize, that nowadays people don't say, hey, can we do a video conference? People say, can we Zoom? Do you realize that the term Zoom has become so ubiquitous? It becomes the synonym for video conference. Then, in the office, right? And when you want to do video conference, what do you say? Hey, let's go on video conference. Or do you say, hey, let's Zoom?
Hey, let's Zoom. Let's Zoom.
Whoever said that Zoom was video conferencing? No, there is Google Hangouts, there is Microsoft Teams. What do you say? What do you say? Zoom. Do you know that Zoom is really penetrating the market?
Yeah.
It's really crazy. Right? Yeah. Guys, if you're learning something, once again, smash the love button, smash the like button, and then you see Ben's handsome face also, smash the love button, smash the like button, and share the video.
More for Felicia.
Share the video. Okay, if you're learning something, I'm going to pause for like 20 seconds because I'm going to allow you to share this learning. Sharing is caring, okay? Sharing is caring. What is this? It says like Xerox. Okay, sharing is caring. Once you have shared, type shared. Once you have shared, type shared. And once you have liked it, type like. Okay. Now, look at this. What's going to drive the growth other than whatever I just shared with you, which is like super incredible already? Okay, what happened earlier this year? Ben, do you remember? There was this like whole security issue. People, the education institutions were also getting their Zoom hacked, right? Corporations were getting their Zoom hacked. In fact, do you know that Daimler, Ericsson, Bank of America, Tesla, all these big names, right? They actually stated, in their internal policy, no Zoom because of the lack of security. So what Zoom did was that they did an acquisition over an endpoint security company. They hired like a lobbyist to fight for their rights. They made some changes. What else did they do? Let me see. So basically they upped their security, okay? They upped their security and they work together even with the New York City education department, okay, to implement this new system and to talk about privacy, to address the privacy concerns, and therefore they were also able to win back market share in the education realm. So clever, right? So initially, Microsoft Teams, they were catching up and they were taking over market share because of the security issues. But because Zoom very quickly addressed this issue, very quickly put in place measures that they were able to get back the market share. And now, because they work with the New York City Department of Education, this propelled them to further gain the market share. Okay? Okay, this one, innovation. Yeah. Okay, let me tell you. Let me ask you. Then Zoom, okay. Guys, talent attraction is very important in the longevity of a company. Okay? For your company to grow, you need talents, right? You need people who are capable. Hey, how come Joy says no sound? Have sound, Joy. Joy, I think it's your okay. If so, in order for you to attract talent, your branding in the market must be very important. People must enjoy working and people must support your CEO because the CEO drives the company culture. Now, can you guess, right, for Zoom CEO, what is he ranked on Glassdoor? What's his ranking on Glassdoor? What's his ranking on Glassdoor? In terms of his overall, whether performance, how well liked he is, la 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 la. Can you all guess? And Ben, can you guess?
Wow. Is it like what? Over 90%? 95?
Guess his position worldwide on Glassdoor.
Worldwide? I think could be out of the Fortune 500. I don't know. Maybe like top 20.
Top 20. Okay, guys, what would you guess? Ben says top 20. What do you guess? What do you guys guess?
Wow, top 10.
Santi says top 10. Anything else? Marcus says top 10. Hey, Marcus, hello. Anyone?
Asian must be number one.
Yeah. I remember that also. Asian must be number one. Asian is number one. One or not at all, right? One or none. Asian is one or none. Correct. For those of you who tuned in last week, you should know, okay? Ben, let me show you something, okay? It's incredible. Look at this.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Wow, really number one, huh?
Okay, I never knew. He's number one. And do you know that there were articles that covered about his passion, like people who were so, like they really enjoy working. And I think it stems from his passion. He quit his high-flying, super well-paid job to kind of set up Zoom. And he didn't know whether it was going to succeed, just that he had a passion in solving this area. Okay? And then look at Glassdoor. Zoom dethrones Facebook as the best tech company to work for in the US. It's incredible. Okay?
Wow.
And they're attracting all the top talents. It's really, really incredible. Now, in terms of the financials, check it out, guys. Revenue growth. Okay, look at this. Zoom and Crowdstrike during this period that's reflected in this graph. They're actually parallel. They're neck and neck. Okay, Zoom and Crowdstrike. And then in terms of their gross margin, right? So gross margin of course tells you your profits. For Zoom is 80%. Crowdstrike is at 70%. But actually, after the security implementation, right, they're also about there. I think they're about like 68%. So it puts them together with Crowd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Ben, I bet you didn't know this. No. Okay, now, in terms of their okay, let me just show you very quickly. Okay. Okay, and we're coming to an end soon. Stay with us. Just stay with us. Let me just bring you through a little bit of Morningstar. And in the meantime, while I wait for Morningstar to open, Ben, you can entertain the crowd with SpongeBob SquarePants, songs and cartoons. Okay.
Guys, so I think basically, Malaysia was sharing so much for Zoom, right, guys? So again, looking at all these numbers, I think end of the day, guys, looking back, the numbers is the best. It gives you security and gives you the conviction, right? And you don't have to be swayed by the market or hearsay, right? Just use the numbers to kind of guide, whether you feel this is, a strong company. And obviously, all these charts over here shows comparison to other of its competitors in the industry and things like that as well, right? Yeah.
And if you guys are convinced by Zoom at this point, yeah. Okay, I'm just waiting for it to load. Guys, at this point, if you're convinced by Zoom, type ZM. If you're convinced by CrowdStrike, type CRWD. Which camp are you on, yo? Okay, if you're convinced by Zoom, type ZM. Entertain the crowd. Wow, John. Funny. Entertaining the crowd.
Good,
you are
okay,
right.
we must. Yeah, Crowdstrike. Endpoint, yeah. I think at the end of the day, it's just a different circle of competitors. Yeah.
Hey,
so guys,
you know what? Okay, finally it's loading. It's really laggy. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, let me show you guys. Can see?
Yeah.
Okay, 5 more minutes, okay? And we're done. 5 more minutes. Oh, yeah, okay. Look at this. Guys, revenues growing tremendously. Just now we saw gross margins also. Okay, it's very, very strong. Free cash flow, needless to say, right? We saw. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Just now we saw, right, 2,000% growth. Now let me tell you something, okay? What's important is this. Net margin, do you see that very quickly they have turned profitable? Their net margins is like 17% now. It's really crazy. What's the net margin of Crowdstrike?
Yeah.
What's the net margin of Crowdstrike?
I think it's minus 17. So I think it's minus 17. So it's the opposite. They're still yeah. But I think right now Zoom they already turned profitable. Yeah. Zoom already turned profitable. Yeah.
Okay, Zoom is profitable and it has turned profitable in a short time. Okay, so I see a lot of Zoom. Huh?
Yeah. But that is baked into the stock price already. That's why the stock price is also zooming.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, just now someone was asking about debt, right? So the debt we can see, the debt is very, very low. It's like 0.05. It's like negligible. They hardly have debt. What do they need debt? They are so rich, cash rich now. Okay. So you can see its financials are very strong. But something though, okay, it's a valuation indeed. Like people are asking about a valuation, right? Valuation. It is also very crazy at this point. I mean, although it has dipped like 30%, right, ever since the rate days, but I think it is still pretty expensive. Oh, it's just like lagging. That's a banner. I think, right, that I mean, while these companies are so promising, something that I also grapple with is like, how do we evaluate these companies? I mean, yes, we can use, even the more fanciful, like, enterprise value over their 12 months trailing revenue ratios and all that. Really, no one really have a good gauge. Okay, no one really has a good gauge. Like, do you say 80 PS is very high? Do you say like, oh my god, just look at it, right? Their price to earnings is like 400. It's crazy. That means you're paying 400 years into the future based on their current earnings. Okay, you're paying 400 years into the future. Okay, but looking at the PEG ratio, I think it definitely makes a lot more sense than Crowdstrike. Because Crowdstrike, just now, their PEG was like 40, right? It was 40. But this one, the PEG is like 2.88. Okay, and you see that their PEG is actually less than last year, meaning that the price to earnings as compared to the growth that you're seeing, it's lower. That means it's cheaper in terms of the valuation when you talk about growth. Okay. So I think valuation is indeed something that we really need to look at, and it is an issue. We can see over here, Zoom and CrowdStrike, they are both the most expensive, okay? Most expensive out of the lot, but also because of their growth. All right. So, guys, at this point, okay, let me stop sharing now. You can finally see our faces. 3 more minutes to ding, 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 ding. Okay, at this point, guys. And Christian is asking what's the barrier to entry. Oh, the barrier to entry actually for Zoom, right, is really the interoperability. Just now, remember, I was sharing with you guys how it operates within the ecosystem. This is how it stands out from its competitors. Other than that, they're filing for patents. Okay, patents, meaning that people cannot copy. Within a certain period of time, people cannot copy their innovations, which is great. So this is their barrier to entry. Although I must say that really the barrier to entry is more of like habit, right? Ben, do you agree? It's really more of habit. Like if you're habitually using Zoom and in your company, everyone is using Zoom, you will stick on Zoom. Why will you suddenly switch to Google Hangouts? It's really out of habit. Although I must say that the switching cost is not very high, right? It doesn't cost a lot to switch into Google Hangouts or Microsoft Teams, but it's more of habit. Okay, it's more of habit.
Yeah.
Yes, Santi. Yeah, it could very well be that competitors can still market share, but I think Zoom is still primarily like driving the market because of this whole network effect, and also because of how they are really expanding in the ecosystem. Also because of their financials. Their financials are very strong. They have such so much free cash flow now, above all the competitors, right? That they are able to innovate very, very quickly and they respond very quickly. Okay, guys, so at this point, if you have learned something, can you type learned in the chat? Learned in the chat. Now, while they type learned, right? Ben, what are your concluding thoughts? What are your concluding thoughts?
Okay.
Are you ready to dance at TikTok for losing this session?
Huh?
Are you ready to
dance
at TikTok for losing this competition?
No, I'd rather come back and maybe like pay back to the crowd, the community by sharing more on stock analysis. But TikTok is not my thing. I don't even have TikTok.
Who wants Ben to dance a TikTok dance?
Very hard. But guys, I think some parting words is that I think end of the day, both are also good companies, good stocks, right? Invest in your circle of competence. More importantly is, end of the day, Zoom or even Crowdstrike is just going to be just one of the stock in your portfolio. Remember, guys, have a portfolio and also do position sizing. Then I think all of you can sleep well at night. All right?
Yeah, man. Very wise words.
Yeah.
Finally, I give you all the final vote, okay? The final say. The audience will have the final say. What do you choose? Zoom or Crowd? Type the ticker symbol now. Type the ticker symbol. Crowd or Zoom? Crowd or Zoom?
Okay.
Crowd or Zoom? Ben must do TikTok video. Hey, Ben, you must do TikTok video. No? You're requesting. No?
Very hard.
Okay, guys, type your final symbol. Okay, and while you type, just a reminder also that you all can follow me on my Facebook page. That is Felicia Fong, the business and investment strategist, and follow Ben on his Facebook page. It's this ticker that's running right now. Okay, so Ben is Invest with Ben Chua, right? But of course, and then also I think we both have like Telegram groups, so.
Do join us.
I put in my Telegram here. Maybe Ben. Ben, if you follow me on Facebook, mine is Fortune Fong. Yo, if you want to make a fortune. No, I'm just playing.
Very nice.
Okay, Zoom. Right. Okay, very good. All right, thanks, guys. Once again, if you haven't shared this video, do share. And do join us back next week for more stock dissects. Okay, be safe. Markets open. Already opened. 1 minute.
Open already.
Yes. SpongeBob.
Take care, guys.
SpongeBob. Bye, guys. Take care.